Well, good evening. On behalf of the person that invited you to this, or if you're part of our family, we want to say good evening and welcome. Welcome to what we love to be the time that we get together once a week to share testimonies of what is happening in each other's lives, in each other's families, in each other's organizations, and to share what is going on with this incredible technology. 18 months ago, my husband and I had said yes to utilizing this technology in our family. And we have a special needs daughter who actually just finished writing a paper for the very first time with my husband without having a complete meltdown. So I looked at my husband just now and I said, wow. So that is just something that is just so exciting. This has changed our lives forever. So I know that tonight is going to earmark a moment for you that if you're not utilizing this technology yet, you will want to afterwards. And if you are using it and you're still waiting for some things to happen, we're going to talk about a little bit about that tonight as well. So, we're so excited. Now, first of all, I do want to mention something. This technology is actually in the world of stem cells. And so, what I do want to tell you is that when we talk about stem cells, when we talk about waking up stem cells, okay, you are going to see that your testimony is going to be completely different than the person's testimony next to you. Okay, the person that invited you, their testimony, their body's different. I had a thyroid condition. My thyroid condition is fixed. If somebody else doesn't have a thyroid condition or it's not the same type of thyroid condition, their body's going to fix differently than mine. And so just understand that all of us have different testimonies. Now, before we jump into any of the science quickly and then we open up for more testimonies, I actually have a doctor that I would love to actually unmute herself and we would love for her to share what is happening for her, what is happening for her family. It's just truly incredible. So I hope I say this correctly. Dr. Malave, will you please unmute yourself? And I would love for you to jump on here.
Sure. Thank you for having me. So I have to tell you, I truly do not believe in coincidence. I believe in what I consider divine intervention. And how I got introduced to this technology was actually at an airport, believe it or not. I happened to be in Colorado at the same precise time as the woman that introduced me to the patch, Michelle. We were just waiting for security, and God kept telling me, ask her about her hat, ask her about her hat. And on her hat she had, have you been patched yet? And the conversation struck up. And, again, interestingly enough, I have been a family physician for almost 30 years now. And I was telling Michelle that I had literally left that behind as primary care physician and was opening my integrative practice with a more holistic perspective. And as she was talking about the patch, I was thinking, wow, this technology would work perfectly for my practice that I was just about to start. And so she went on her vacation. I went home and we reconnected again. And she kept sending me all these amazing testimonials about this product. And again, I'm a physician, so I have to admit, I was skeptical. I was like, I don't know. But I figured, hey, if I'm opening a holistic practice, I have to try it for myself. So literally a week ago, Sunday, I put the patch behind my neck, as well as my mom, who was visiting on vacation for a week with me. And I did it for my mom because she had a stroke several years ago. And she lives with my brother and relies on home health aides to help her. And if she sits in a chair for too long, or if she is in a chair that's uncomfortable, we have to literally grab her by her hands and pull her up because she doesn't have enough strength. And she walks with a cane and assisted. And so I said, you know what? I've heard such great things about this technology. What if this helps her and she would have better quality of life. So I put it on her and put it on myself. To give you a heads up about me, um, out of nowhere, for probably a couple months now, I would say since the early part of this year, I've had Achilles insertion pain. If I sit too long, or if I go up and down the steps, I get pain in the Achilles and I have to literally like walk and walk and walk till it eases up. I also have lower back pain that I get on and off. And it just so happened that this particular week, I threw my back out playing bowling with my niece and nephew. So I said, great, nice time to start the patch. The next day, I woke up and I was walking and I was like, where's the pain? I was like, no, this cannot possibly happen in a day. And and then I didn't have the lower back pain either. And I was like, okay, this is way too bizarre to happen in one day. And I also have this condition ever since I hit menopause, where instead of hot flashes, I get cold flashes. So at 5 o'clock, like clockwork, I literally get so cold that I'm applying coats and I can't get warm. It's like deep to my bones. Um, 2 days later, I go into a cold part of my house and I'm like, where are the goosebumps? I am not cold at all. This is so strange. So I was like, okay, this has got to be placebo. This is just in my head. It can't possibly be this patch. Fast forward, because I know that there are other people speaking. On Friday, my mom and I were taking a trip, and I forgot to put a patch on her. And she had noticed during the week that she was getting a little stronger. And you'll show the video of my mom getting up without assistance. But I removed my patch and put it on her because I didn't. That's my beautiful mom. And I didn't want her to be without the patch. All of my pain came back, all
And we're
of
going to
it.
talk about why that is, which is going to be great.
All of it. I was like, I spent a day of pain, but it was worth it because I wanted my mom to be in better shape than I was. And at the end of the week, she said to me, please, can you purchase these patches? Don't let me be without these
Wow.
patches. Which is huge for my mom to say that. And for me, the next day, I took my mom in a wheelchair to a festival because I knew she couldn't walk. For 2 hours, I was pushing a wheelchair, her in a wheelchair. No Achilles pain, no lower back pain. We were out in the night because it was Lantern Festival, no cold intolerance. And I was like, okay, I'm sold.
Dr. Malave, I love it.
Sold. We are going to be using this patch.
I love it. And you're going to be impacting so many lives because of this. It's just so exciting. So I'm just so excited. So that's what we have our hands on. Dr. Malave, I'm so grateful for you to be willing to share. And I know that we are going to be seeing a lot of you and quite a few of your patients as well. So we're so excited, and your dear mom. So thank you so much. That is what Testimony Tuesday is about. I love it. Divine connection. So, like I said, all these testimonies are going to be completely different. And we're actually going to talk tonight about why Dr. Malave actually had some of her discomfort come back because she had just started the patch. So, this is going to be great. Like, this was just fantastic. So, thank you so much, Dr. Malave. God bless you. And we are so excited for more and more from your mother as well. So, what are
Thank
stem cells? Stem cells are the master building block of the entire body. Okay, it is their job to naturally repair and naturally renew. Okay, they're found throughout various tissues and organs. Okay, so our stem cells' job is to travel, triage, and go to their heat seeking missiles, go to the area that is damaged and fix the area that is damaged. Okay, that is their job. So, inflammation, regeneration if needed, antimicrobial issues, viruses, energize. Your body can fix itself if its stem cells are awake and alert. Stem cells are undifferentiated, which means they have the ability to turn into whatever cell is necessary in the body. So, Dr. Malave, her testimony is completely different than her mother's. Her mother had issues standing up, so there were issues there that the stem cells are fixing and turning into different areas there. And hormonal issues are going to be completely different. So those stem cells have the ability, when they are awake and alert, to turn into nerve cells, cardiac cells, muscle cells, whatever it is that we all need to ourselves, necessary for our brain, heart, whatever area in our body to fix. Okay. So, why the stem cell technology that we're talking about, the testimonies tonight? Because by the time we're 30, half of our stem cells, they go dormant. Okay. They don't die, they go dormant. By the time we're 60, 90% of them go dormant. And the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age, the slower you heal, the faster you break down. David Schmidt is our founder and our CEO. Okay, so I love to bring validity before you hear more incredible testimonies. And the reason why is because David Schmidt, he's brilliant. And he was originally contracted by the government to come up with something that the Navy SEALs could use that would keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. He has over 200 patents, okay? He is a scientist, he's the inventor, okay? But interestingly enough, when they contracted him, they said, David, it cannot be a drug or a stimulant that our Navy SEALs use. And he said, okay. They said it cannot. So whatever you come up with, you better be pretty clever. Well, he began to study light frequency. Okay, and he was not the first to discover that our bodies have chemical reactions to light frequency. He wasn't the first to discover that, okay? But he began to look at different colors of light frequency, and he also found that inside our body produces light called biophotons. Okay, so he was really interested in all this and the chemical reactions that happened in response inside our body to light frequencies. Okay, so he found that off of our body, because those biophotons, our body actually emits infrared light. Now, there's nothing weird about that. That's nothing woo woo. Okay, that is factual. Okay, we can find each other through an infrared heat gun because we emit frequencies of light and heat, different colors of frequencies of light. Okay, so he found that there was actually a red light frequency that humans actually emit, that when reflected back into the body produces adrenaline. So the Navy SEALs began to use this, okay? And as they started using it, Stanford University got wind of it. They were flipping out. They were like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And so they began to put this on their swimmers, and Michael Phelps got wind of it. And the story goes on from there, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a very real technology that is called photobiomodulation. David Schmidt knew that he was onto something incredibly brilliant. The government tried to say, you will do this all for us. And he said, no, I won't. I'm on to something big. So he actually began to use an FTIR, which actually is a piece of equipment which would try to find different frequencies and wavelengths of light. And he would find these and he would reflect specific frequencies, and the body would have different chemical reactions. Well, he was searching for something special. And what that was to wake up stem cells. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why you're on tonight and why you're about to hear more incredible testimonies. We had a doctor on here earlier, a doctor signed up with my husband and I because he said, I've been studying frequencies of light. I had no idea this existed. He said, the fact that this does, do you know what this changes? Because waking up stem cells, testimonies will happen. I said, you nailed it. So here it is, a patented technology that if you are on here desperately needing hope, through the reflection of frequency of light, your body elevates what is called this GHKCU peptide, which is known as the holy grail of healing peptide. And that peptide, when elevated, instead of trying to topically put it on your body, or um, instead of trying to inject it, what is incredible is that your body actually elevates this, and miracles begin to happen, including the activation of stem cells. So here we go. I had no idea that Dr. Malave was about to say what she was about to say. Compare your inside light being controlled by a dimmer switch. Okay, so as you put on this technology, what begins to happen is a dimmer switch begins to go on. And the brighter that light becomes, the more things fix. Well, Dr. Malave is what we would call a one patch wonder, but her body was still fixing. But because she's probably a pretty healthy person being a physician, her body was able to start fixing right away. So the second that that light began to go on, things began to happen. So as you begin to hear testimonies tonight, remember that as a dimmer switch goes on in your body, your testimonies are going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay. Now, it is clinically proven that the longer you wear this technology, if you wear it 6 months or longer, you actually reverse an age. That's nothing weird. It is clinically proven. So, after 3 years of research, they found that if you use this longer than 6 months, you actually reverse an age by an average of 8.5 years. Okay, so this is my husband and I right here. So that shows you. So it's a proprietary form of phototherapy, a reflection of frequency of light. The body produces GHKCU peptides, and then it is completely non-dermal. So I was on thyroid medication. My body fixed it. I'm no longer on thyroid medication. After about 47 days, I went to the doctor. The doctor did blood work and said, "You've got to stop doubling up your medication." I went, "I'm not." And he took me off my medication. So that eventually is what is going to happen. So there's no drugs, no stimulants. Within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. That's what ended up happening with our doctor. Okay. Within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. So I'm excited because I saw that Bernadette's going to be sharing. She's got some incredible testimonies of what ends up happening with brain becoming balanced. But if you have brain fog from COVID, all those things, I'm telling you, it's going to work. Within 3 months, the collagen is increased. So your ability to move, your hair, your skin, your nails, everything, it just gets better and better. And then within 6 months, it's clinically proven that the cardiovascular age of your heart actually reverses. Okay, so that's what you're about to hear is many, many testimonies about that. And the benefits are absolutely incredibly unending. So I want you, as we open this up, I have several others that had texted me. Remember, as you share your testimony, because we do have guests on, we're going to be quick. How long have you been using this technology? Because everyone wants hope. Some people, it takes my husband, he wanted his back fixed. It took him 4.5, 5 months for him to feel a difference in his back. Why? My husband was bleeding internally from the esophagus, and he also had a snoring issue. So those issues were handled first, okay? And then his body began to take care of his back. Okay, so his iron infusion ceased. Okay, so absolutely incredible. So just understand that your testimony is going to be incredibly powerful, like everyone else. So, Bernadette, will you open up? And then Miss Lana, I'd love for you to open up. And then please, just like Bernadette's doing, if you can raise your hand. I cannot wait to hear these testimonies tonight. We've got a lot of them. So please raise your hand.
Hi guys, my name is Bernadette Brooks. So I've been on the patch for a year. The first 3 months, it completely healed and took care of all my hormones. I was dealing with adrenal fatigue, and I was going to the doctor every 3 months. So that was the cool thing. Okay, that was great. That's honestly what I was wanting it to do, but it took 3 months to get to that point. But today, since I've been on it a year, just last week, and I haven't told you this yet, Brittany, I went to get my eyes checked out, right? Went to the ophthalmologist. And I found out today, or last week, I found out that my vision has improved by a quarter of a point, and I am no longer having to wear multifocal glasses, or excuse me, glasses or contacts. That being said, yes, that sounds really, really cool. But the why it means even more is because I have a tumor. I had a tumor 20 years ago. I've had brain surgery, and it is right behind my left optic nerve. So I honestly, I believed in my healing already. I've been symptom free, but I didn't think my vision would get improvement. I was like, hey, this is it, right? I tolerated it. And I was like, this is it. Well, no, guys, I'm so glad I've stuck with it because right now I am going on 1 year and my vision has been improving. So that's my amazing. I can't believe, holy cow, it keeps working. It's not done yet.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's the best. I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, I'm going to call on Lana if she could unmute herself, and then our next is going to be Miss Vilu, I believe. So Lana, if you want to unmute.
I'm unmuted. Can
There
you
we
hear me?
go. Yes.
Okay. My name is Lana Flory, and I'm from Houston, Texas. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share a little bit about my health journey tonight. First, I want to thank God for my life and my health, including the twists and the turns that have occurred. In 2007, after several years of knee issues, I had a double knee replacement. Since that time, I have found it difficult to stand for long periods of time, and I would do the best to avoid any distance walking and would not take stairs at any time unless I just had to. So in 2010, it was discovered that I had bilateral breast cancer, and I had to have a double mastectomy, and it was hormone related. In 2018, I visited an endocrinologist because I could not lose weight. And she said, well, let's do an ultrasound on your thyroid and start from there. So that led to a biopsy, which led to thyroid cancer and the total removal of my thyroid. I continued to gain weight, and I'm still not at a weight that I'm comfortable, but I will get there. Um, but after the thyroid was removed, I continued not only to gain weight, but I had severe facial hot flashes. And I mean, it looked like I had just splashed water on my face whenever I walked outside, and it was embarrassing. And I couldn't take any hormones. So my niece, to combat any of these issues, so the doctor asked me, would you be amenable to going to Botox, unless shooting the Botox in your hairline, both up and before your forehead and on your neckline? So I took three of those, which once every 3 months you go and get those shots. And that was like $200 a shot. So after after 9 months, three shots, I said, this is not working. I'm still having the hot flashes. I don't see any results, and I don't want to do Botox, especially if I'm not getting any wrinkles out of my face. So um, I decided that I was talking with my niece, and she said, Aunt Lana, why don't you try this new line of hormone replacements, natural oils, and so forth? I said, I'll try it. So I ordered my oils, and I started using them. About a month later, it was time for me to go and have my blood work done for my endocrinologist. And whenever I went in, she went, oh my God, I don't know what you're doing, but stop it. So immediately she said, your hormone levels are all elevated. And with what your history is, you cannot afford that. So I stopped those natural products. But at the same time, my daughter in law mentioned to me about the patch. And I said, I'm desperate. I'll try anything. So let's go for it. So March 23rd of this year, I ordered the X39 and the Aeon. I went into a little group thinking, well, I'll just in case it works, I may play with this and tell other people and get excited. I was hoping, but wasn't really expecting a lot of results because I haven't had any with the other aspects I did. But in April, our elevator went out in our apartment, and I had no choice but to walk down the stairs. So after starting the patch on March 23rd, the end of April, it's about 30 days, uh, I thought, oh, I got to go down those stairs. I took one step, and there was no pressure on my knee. I went, wow, maybe two steps. So I took another step. And then by the time I ended up at the bottom of the stairs walking normal, I was going, oh, wow, this is great. Can I do it going up? So I did it going up, and I said, oh, thank you, God. Then I noticed that whenever I got out of bed, I wasn't standing there trying to catch my balance and get my knees working so that I could go to the bathroom or start my day. I was going, this is pretty cool. So then I would notice whenever I'm sitting at a restaurant and I would get up so that nobody would notice, my purse would be over there, and I'd reach and get my purse so that I could catch my balance and start walking normal out of a restaurant. I didn't need to do that anymore. I could just stand up and start walking. I was going, oh my God, this is so
Wonderful.
good. Well, then it was time for me to go to the doctor, but I said, I'm not sweating anymore. My gosh, I can't believe this. So I went to the cardiologist, which I've had to do since my breast cancer because my blood pressure had been elevated during all of the surgeries that took place. And so, although I had managed to work my way down to the lowest grade of blood pressure medicine, I was still taking blood pressure medicine. When I went to the cardiologist this time, he said, "Your blood pressure is good for the past 2 times, 3 times that you've been here. We're going to take you off your blood pressure medicine, and I don't need to see you for a year." I went, "Oh my God, that's awesome." So I did my blood work this month, went to my endocrinologist, and whenever I got my blood work back, it had abnormal, abnormal, abnormal. I go, "Oh, what is she going to say this time? What's wrong?" I get there, and she says, "Everything's good except that your thyroid is way elevated. We're giving you too much medicine." I'm on 3 thyroid pills. She took me off one thyroid pill totally. The other one she reduced from 7 days to 5 days. So now I'm just on one pill totally, 7 days a week, and then one 5 days.
I love it.
Well, that's awesome. But she also said, "I don't need to see you in 3 months. You're going to go 6 months this time." So it's the first time since I've had thyroid cancer, which was in 2018, that I had the thyroid cancer, that I am now getting a 6 month reprieve.
I love it. I love
And one more wonderful thing is that I was at church, and this person says, "I don't know what you're doing, but you're just glowing." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And that was it. Then I'm at my granddaughter's wedding, and my daughter-in-law sitting across the table from me, and she looks at me and she says, "Mom, you are glowing." And I said, "Oh, I'm pregnant." 74 years old and pregnant. Yeah. She laughed. She said, "No, really, you're glowing." And I said, "Well, thank you." Then my hairdresser today said, "I don't know what you're doing, but your complexion and you are glowing, Lana." So I'm glowing from the inside out. And I have to say, it's all because of the patch. And yes, I am trying to sell it again.
I love it. Well, the dimmer switch. It's the dimmer switch. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so good. Thank you so much for sharing, Lena. Thank you so much. And
My
I'm
pleasure. Thank you for allowing
tomorrow
it.
night as well. So I'm so excited for that. So wonderful. All right, Miss Bailu, I am so excited. Am I saying that correctly?
It, it's Vilu. It's
You.
fine. Yes, Vilu. Hi,
All right.
everybody. So I have been patching for 8 months.
Okay.
My family's been patching for 8 months because if I do it and I see some, we're all gonna patch. I have a lot to share, but today I really want to focus on something that happened about 2 weeks ago that had my whole household in a huge amount of stress. Well, my oldest daughter is the owner of a Malamute dog, a very active dog. She is 3 years old. Her name is Ray, and Ray was injured. We don't know exactly how she got injured, but we identified that her lower lumbar went out. She was squealing, like just in excruciating pain. We didn't know what was happening. It was late at night. Our only thing was going to be emergency veterinary, care, and we started patching. We patched the X39. I had run out of the Ice Wave, which do not run out of any patches because they cannot arrive fast enough, right? Um, Thankfully, I was able to reach out to my friend Aaron we started to reach out to people that may have had a patch that could be sent to me, or I could drive even 2 hours to pick up. Somebody in my local area, whom actually I helped get started with the patches, did have the Ice Wave, and we were able to receive it the next day. Um, the dog reacted beautifully. She was acting as if nothing had taken place, to the point that we were trying to slow her down. It was a very, very scary situation, not knowing what was going on with her, and just thinking of the humongous amount of money that we perhaps would have paid, for emergency veterinarian, even the assessment of it all.
Wow.
So we were able to help the dog with the patches. So she wore the X39 for 7 days, and she wore continuous ice wave for 24 hours in a row. Uh, and she was muscle tested to see what her body needed in regards to the patches and being supported. And so with that, her body telling us the amount of patches and the days and all that stuff was more than enough for her to recuperate. And now again, she's almost jumping fences every day that we take her out to go to the bathroom. So it's an incredible thing to utilize not only with our human loved ones, but our fur babies. It's
I
so
talk to my
important to
dog.
know that it works for them. Especially today, National Dog Day, right? So be encouraged that we can use it with them as well.
Oh, that was so beautiful. I love that. So, if everybody knows me, I love my dogs. So my husband's always like, no, they're going to last forever. And it's like, that's right. That's why we do it. So, that is so wonderful. Thank you. Yes, National Dog Day. So, pat your dogs, and we'll explain that in a minute. Who else can actually share a testimony? I know that we had a couple of other testimonies that were texting me in. Let's see if we have anybody else. Anybody? Because I know that
Hey,
there were.
Brett.
Yes. Hey, Stace.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Okay, so I just want to really quick tell about a friend of Kaylee's, my daughter. Her name is Taylor. Taylor came over and she has been having issues and was on the book for a knee replacement at the age of 23 years old. And patched her with the ice wave and the X39, and she literally stood there almost in tears, like I can literally move my legs. And so, but Taylor wound up having surgery. The doctor went in and he was totally 100% amazed that, oh my gosh, what happened? And so the reconstruction that he did was very, very minimal. So she gives praise and glory to God for the
That
X39.
is amazing.
And also, really quick, I just want to tell you, I do agree with the animals. I patched my dog of 3 years that had kidney failure, came out of kidney failure, and he is 100% full throttle, 100 throttle opened, and he acts like a newborn puppy. So yes, no more high blood pressure for me, no more kidneys functioning crazy for me, sleeping through the night. My hair is reversing, my gray hair is reversing to brown, and I'm just so excited about that. And I don't want to look 60, so I have all the intentions on not looking 60 and reversing age. So just wanted to share that really quick. All right. Bye, y'all.
I love it. I love it. All right. Anyone else would like to share tonight? All right. Okay. Well, let's tell you where you're going to wear the patch. These testimonies were incredible tonight. You're going to put it where you need it. That's it. Okay. So if there's a knee issue, a back issue, a stomach issue, whatever it is, you're going to put it where you need it. To prove that it worked, they had to select two places in order to receive the patent. Okay, so those were the two places underneath the belly button, and the most open point to the brain is the back of the C7. So those were the two places that they chose, LifeWave chose, but you can put it wherever you need it. Now they did discuss the ice wave patches. That does block the discomfort immediately. So what Stacy was talking about, what I believe Lana was talking about, what Miss Vilou was talking about, if you put the ice wave, it will block the pain while your stem cells are waking up and doing what they need to do. Okay. So you're going to wear those 12 hours a day, the X39, 12 hours a day. Okay. You want to stay hydrated with electrolytes. Okay. And definitely make sure that if I just saw that there was a question about tinnitus, there is actually some placements. If you look at X39 LifeWave tinnitus placement on AI, believe it or not, Chat GPT, it will actually tell you where to place the X39. There's actually placements that you can actually select, and they'll help you with that. There is a documentary that's coming out called Let There Be Light. That's why I love the analogy of the light switch, because as the light inside of us is getting brighter and brighter and brighter, Dr. Malave is a perfect example. It was just the beginning, and as it gets brighter and brighter, there's going to be more and more things that occur within the body. That is what brought attention to Mickey Willis. So this is very, very real. If you're watching this and you're going, gosh, I wonder if, the answer is yes. For everybody on everything, every single time, given enough time, go to thisisit.info.com/testimonies. If you say, well, what about stroke? What about, we have testimonies all the time about different things. That's why I love Testimony Tuesdays. What about neuromuscular issues? What about children? The answer is yes. Okay. Thisisit.info.com/testimonies gives you tons of different places that you can actually select, and you can see the patents and the studies as well. And then we have doctor presentations that you actually can have access to at any time, so that you can share this with the people that you know and love. If they say, this sounds too good to be true, I need to hear from a doctor. Well, tonight you got to hear from Dr. Malave, but if you want to hear from other doctors, we have that as well. So between that and this, that will help you tremendously. Now, if you are a guest and you're saying, okay, Brittany, is there real hope? The answer, please hear me, is yes. You want to wear this technology at least 1 month, at least 1 month per decade that you're alive. So if you're 60, we're at 7 months. But truly, wear it a year. All of the doctors, Rick and I, my husband and I, are starting to say, wear it a year. It was so amazing to hear Bernadette discuss this, because my eyesight has come back to the point where he'll drive with me at night, where everybody looked like they were braking before. So my husband wouldn't drive with me at night. So as the time progresses, your body's going to get better and better. You are going to live a full life. Okay. This is my miracle inbox. Okay. So I love to share that because, every single day I get miracles in my phone of people saying, my gosh, I prayed for this for my family, and look at what's happening. And I get videos all the time. So, you can wear it and share it if you choose, but just know that you want to wear it. That's it. You want to wear it. You can share it if you want to, but wear the technology. Put your family on the technology, because it will work. Okay. So, core is just to see if it's right for you. Okay. It gives you 3 sleeves of the X39. Somebody mentioned earlier about the Eon. That actually lowers the cortisol. Your body lowers the cortisol levels in reflection of that frequency of light. So stress levels they go down very quickly. Okay. The X39 does all the things. Okay. But if you want to really have Batman and Robin, X39 and Eon. Okay. If you're an athlete, or if your child is an athlete, X39 and X49. That is the performance package. Mike Tyson uses that. A lot of our NFL players down here in Houston, Texas use that. Okay. And you can mix and match. It doesn't need to be more expensive. You mix and match. And then the advanced is saying, you know what? Look, I want to mix and match. I need a lot of things. Do the advanced or the premium. The advanced opens up everything for you if you decide to do the business. But even if you don't, do the advanced if you're a couple and you say, we've got a lot of things going on. Give it the time that it deserves. 70% of people feel a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days. 97% of people feel a miracle within 90 days. So, what I want you to understand is that you are going to see miracles. You are going to see the things that you're hoping that you see. It works on everybody, on everything, every single time, given enough time. So, that 70% between 5 minutes and 5 days, remember, what you're hoping to see might not be the thing that you see. It might be something else. So track what is happening in your body. And then 97% of people feel a miracle within 90 days. So please do not, it takes 90 to 120 days for a cell to turn over. Understand, your body is immediately working. Remember, I said within the first few days, 4,000 genes reset. Get your blood work drawn. If you're like, I don't know about, get your blood work drawn. It will be different. So with that, get back to the person that invited you. If you are a guest, get back to them and just tell them, you know what, let's try it. And if you're not, if you're part of the family, Please come back with your testimonies because we love these nights. This is what gets us so excited about being with this family is that we're all here for one another. We're excited to hear the testimonies and we're excited to cheer each other on. So with that, I pray that every single one of you guys have an incredible evening. Tomorrow night, I will be doing a live presentation. I will be having several of these testimonies on tomorrow night, as well as others. And so please join us and you can get back to the person that invited you to this and they will send you that as well. Take care and God bless every single one of you.